Hello, everyone. 5 people. Today we are on a cliff in my hometown. Where else would I be? I haven't moved out from my hometown yet. So I wasn't really sure where to go today, and I kind of ended up in the same place as the river chute last time. So I continued on, and then I found this place, and I have never been here before. I've been near here before, but I've never been here before. So I think that this could be interesting. There is some sort of party happening in the amusement park over there because I hear loud music. Haven't taken any pictures since the day before yesterday, but I plan to change that shortly after this recording. The leaves are almost off the trees now. Makes for quite a spooky aesthetic at dusk like this. And I'm really miffed on things to talk about because this is the first day since Monday that I've actually put any effort into a video. And it's also the first day that I've gotten a really good flow going on with school. Hopefully that can continue. You know, I've had thoughts since the last real intellectual video, but I can't remember them, which means I have to think of something new to talk about. What about gear? Everybody complains about gear being so expensive, and it is. But there's usually a reason for that. People have no idea the intricate manufacturing processes that go into making their stuff. Even if it sucks, it still costs money to make. Even the Canon EOS R100. I don't know if you think it sucks or whatever, but that also costs a good amount of money to make. But here we are in middle of nowhere, really. Looks great out here, honestly. Wish something interesting would happen, but unfortunately I have to be the interesting part, which is kind of challenging when your brain is absolutely empty. My bike was having issues because I have officially joined the crowd of stupid people who have crashed into something hard while riding their bike because they made the mistake of looking at their phone for 1 nanosecond. And I feel like I should explain this before I get roasted in the comments. The music had stopped, and I was like, why the heck has the music stopped? So I was like, look at my phone to see if it had turned off or something. And well, it hadn't. But that nanosecond was all it took for me to crash into a fence. I kind of thought that I had cracked my front tooth at first, but I hadn't. My bike, honestly, took more damage than I did, and that wasn't even that bad. Knocked my brakes out of alignment. And thought of a name for that earlier when I was fixing it, you know. He uses a swear, which I'm not going to say, but we'll just say Raspy McFrickface. I think that leaves little to the imagination as to what swear I am using. You know, here in the middle of nowhere, it's kind of nice. But I'm also confused as to how I'm in the middle of nowhere. Because I live in a city with a population fast approaching 2 million. And this is very wild. This feels very naturey. If I look right there, just to the left of the camera, I see a house. So there are civilization here. That was not proper grammar. But it doesn't really feel like it. And I wonder if I can capture that in my photos today. I'll definitely have to use a tripod because it's getting dark and I like shooting at lower ISOs where I can. As a landscape photographer, you have that luxury even if you have to deal with a stupid tripod. Can you tell that I don't like tripods? You see, the problem is, to get a good tripod, it costs like $300 or $400 from what I can tell. And to state the obvious, I don't have that kind of money. But even if I did, well, I would spend it because I'm a photographer and I do anything for my hobby. But if I was a muggle, I'm using that word now, get over it, I would definitely think that that was ridiculous. And on some levels it is ridiculous to think that such a basic piece of equipment could be made to cost that much. But it's also very good because it gives photographers equipment that doesn't hold them back. And while I am a firm believer that realistically there is very few cameras that can actually hold you back, I also think that having better gear can benefit you. Which leads me into my next topic. I recently got a portable SSD from SanDisk. It's 1 terabyte. It's like the lowest model. But it's fast as heck. And hopefully I'm not going to fill it this winter. Those sound like famous last words. There are a lot of things to take pictures of. In fact, if I'm not careful, I'm going to miss some pictures tonight. But I will try not to. I will try my hardest not to. As the school year starts ramping up, I will have less and less time. Otherwise, I might consider doing this video for an entire year. Well, not this specific video, but this series of videos. I think that could be a very interesting experience, kind of trial what it would be like to be a YouTuber. Of course, if YouTubers had phones only to edit on. I don't really mind that though. It sort of adds to the challenge, and I like to use my tech to its maximum potential. A lot of people don't. A lot of people buy $1,000 phones just for Instagram, which is ridiculous. But who am I to judge, I guess? And I've never really been one to think that devices are too expensive. I think that they are well within their rights to charge that much money if they have been innovating and are using very high-end, bleeding-edge components. Personally, though, I am broke, and it'll be a while before I can afford something like that. I'd really like to get a new phone. You know, my current one, it's kind of slowing down, but doesn't really matter because I'm doing what I love. I really enjoy photography, and realistically, I am not going to have any issues with my phone for a while still. And while having a limitation of 1 terabyte of storage that can always be in the phone is going to start to be rather frustrating, I think that there is some value in sticking to limitations. Because limitations, like Evan Monsama said, limitations fueling innovation is not something that just happens with creative endeavors. It also happens with other things, like computers, for example. If we started out with Intel Core i9 13900Ks, we would have never learned to make well-optimized software, and we would probably be using like a quarter of what we could do with that processor. So in all fields, limitations do that, I think. In my field, they definitely do. I've really been wishing lately that I could meet a fellow photographer. It's been a long time since I felt like I really shared a hobby with anyone. I think the closest thing I have to that is my friend who's also very much into mountain biking, but it's not as intimate a hobby as photography is. Doesn't bring the same articulate joy that photography does. Anyways, I have done enough rambling. Gonna end this video and take some pictures. Hopefully some good pictures. I think they will be good pictures. It's just, it's hard to have self-esteem when there are people better than you. And that is a very hard lesson to learn. And I'm not sure if I've fully learned it yet, but I also never want to let jealousy or anything like that come in the way of my art. And jealousy itself is a waste of time because it's really just a reflection on yourself. If you're not confident in yourself, you are jealous of other people. And it's really an irrational fear. The irrational fear that there can only be one poet, only one author, only one photographer, only one cinematographer. But that is not the case. And yeah, I'm learning that lesson. Helps to put quotes up on the wall, I find. Anyways, where was I? Slideshow. Starting now. Oh wait, I have to sync the audio.